Whoa, so many little things. Everything is going nice. Then there's a little bit of hectic chaoticness. Oh, I forgot captions. Hopefully I remembered, probably not. Welcome back. Okay, so let me catch you up to speed. We are doing a Taurus. This is the show. This is one of my favorite cars to tint. It's very straightforward. Not a very curved back window. Just a little bit of a little deep. But as far as that, really straightforward. Quarter windows are easy. Back doors, simple. Front doors, simple. So you have normal gaskets on the sides and the bottom. So everything on this thing is very straightforward. Not very much shrinking at all. How y'all doing? Plotter, maybe a little bit. Probably back window and quarters again. I don't know if we're gonna do anything else that's major. God, there's just mosquito city this morning. They were all there's kind of there's a lot, like a little wooded area back here, and there's just a whole bunch of mosquitoes that must have found their way in here. So they're just kind of all over the place. I was just watching the tinting outside in the Philippines. I probably could do that better now. There's something that I didn't realize I could have done instead of not tinting in direct sunlight, but my last name is Torres, not the car. What a coincidence. How do you stop contamination from floating around? How do you stop the little mosquito that just went by here? So you can't, not entirely, not unless you want to be in like a paint booth or something. So the biggest thing is to kind of keep airflow down to a minimum. So you could have like the AC on or whatever. The biggest thing is not to have fans pointed to what you're doing. So when I was doing mobile work from shop to shop, one important thing was like, if you could feel a breeze coming in, you just shut the garage doors. Shut the garage doors, keep overhead fans pretty much off, or at least not in your area, and then just be conscious of other people, like if you're working in a shop and they're using like air guns and stuff like that. Anytime that they use that, it'll kick some stuff up into the air. But for the most part, you wait a little bit, you let it settle. There always will be like little dust things floating around, but that's just part of the job. So if you find something in your tint from floating in the air, it's just you got unlucky that time. But for the most part, all the little speckles that you see, that's not from stuff floating in the air, not unless you're in a really nasty place. Easy money. The bugs are trying to find warmer area. Oh, that would explain it. It's cooling off. So hopefully they'll be dead here pretty quick. I got nothing better to do with my time than watch matte tint videos, which are the best videos, right? Am I right? No? Okay. All right, so we're going to get started. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the plotter, but we do have it at our disposal. Today we have some extra time to fool around with it if we want. We're going to be doing 35 on the front, 20 on the back, Pro Classic. Have you ever heard of Geoshield Pro? I see there's a local tint shop called Geo. Oh, like I thought you were referring to like Pro Classic or Pro Nano, which we're going to be using Pro Classic. There's a local tint shop called Geoshield Pro. They wouldn't have any shops called Geoshield specifically. They have like Geoshield authorized dealers, so nothing that I'm aware of. Maybe they just thought it would help their business, but there could be some issues there potentially. What brand? Geoshield. All right, let me throw on the headset and we'll get going. I have this nice little like table here now that I just keep throwing stuff on. So let's make sure this works. because we had audio issues last time. GoPro. Oh, no. That is not good. Wow. Okay. Time for a quick reset here. When you do it, there's like a certain way to do this where it always works. You like start one HDMI, then immediately start up the other one. Start up the GoPro, let the GoPro sit for like a second or two. And good God, I think I'm getting a haircut on Sunday. They use Geoshield Pro window film, but all the series is different from Geoshield. Then yeah, then they're just trying to, can you post that in the Facebook group? That would be really helpful, actually. Because they're not supposed to be doing that. That's like, you know, me just creating like a Lumar Pro series. Like Lumar would have a big issue with that. It's brand confusion. It's just, yeah, that's a no-no. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, that's much better. It doesn't look all types of weird. Yeah, you can't just steal somebody's branding like that. That's not how that works. There's copyrights, there's trademarks, there's all types of little things. They just trying to take advantage of a good name there. But yeah, if you can post that in the Facebook group. /groups/internet. Window Tint Stuff group on Facebook. I just put a link in there. So, much appreciated. GoPro. Yeah, some people are so lazy. They're so like uninspired and lazy. They just like, they look at something that's working and then they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna yoink that and then put a little asterisk on it in my own way, and then it's something totally different. But see, you could be doing that, confuse consumers, and then they're buying it as if it's the real thing, but they had no idea that it wasn't. Posting it soon? Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really curious to see. That happens with everybody's brand, though, in this industry. There's a lot of Chinese manufacturers. They just reprint boxes. So they'll do XPEL, Solar FX. I think one of the, like, not exactly funny, but it is a little funny. Solar FX. I remember seeing a post from them. Their whole brand was ripped off in another country, just like literally at a convention. A company is selling Solar FX under like a Chinese brand, and they have nothing to do with it. And there's literally like nothing they can do about it either. It's just like they're just sitting there watching it happen. Like, totally sucks. But yeah, so if you're shopping on eBay, Amazon, or any other random marketplaces, like, you can find legit products, of course, on all those websites. But the thing is about window film is a lot of the major brands, they sell everything privately. And marketplaces really eat into margins, so they don't sell through there. They'll sell through authorized distributors only. So somebody can then kind of take their branding and then just post it on there, and then all it is whatever cheesy film in a random box, but they can make it look convincing enough. So that happens with the popular ones, especially. Mostly, I've heard Lumar and 3M. Somebody goes, "Hey, I bought 3M film off of eBay," and it's like, everybody kind of slaps a 3M logo on what they're doing, so probably not. They're posted. Sweet. I want to see it. One sec. Canon. Hang on. I want to pull this up here real quick and see if we can see some ripped off geo. Oh, here. Dang it. What? Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. Desktop. There we go. About Us. Was that supposed to be an ad right there? This is so Pro Nano. SK, what? Iris series. Skincare series. Pro Nano series. Ceramic Pro series. Classic series. I'm gonna have to like send this over to Geo. Yeah, that's Then they slapped the IWFA. Do they have a Facebook too? How long has this been going on? Geoshield Pro. Since 16. This has been going on for a while. I've never heard of this. They only posted a handful of times. Maybe it was just something that was started and then died off, but yeah, there's no way. I like how they slapped the IWFA there. It's just like, yeah, we're legitimate. IWFA 2018. This is probably stopped, but they just keep renewing the website. If I had to guess. It was done a handful of years back. Interesting. So let me, I'm gonna have to put a little reminder on this one. Oh wait, no, let me just send something real quick, because this is good. Thank you for posting that, by the way. My chat. Oh, they're still selling? Well, the site stuff. I mean, it's still up. It looks like it's a little outdated. They probably built it and then just let it sit. Yeah, that's interesting. Check this site. Let's see. Where would the... Oh, well. I'll look into it more later. That's cool. It's cool, not cool. It's, like, funny to find stuff like that and, like, bring some light to it. Just wondering if it was legit or not. No, but that's the problem. Definitely not. Geo has their lines: Pro Classic, Pro Nano, C2, V Nano, and now Apex. but they have no type of like pro dealer program. Oh, you know what? Are we doing? Okay, we'll put it on. We'll put it on for old time's sake, but we might be plotter cutting this, and if we are, we don't need this. Why no plotter today? Well, we're still going to be using it from here and there. We're probably going to mess around with it a little bit on the back window again. But as far as doing it for the doors, I don't think so. I gotta kind of pick and choose, because what I'm typically up against with doing a plotter is for roll downs, it's more to like see how that top edge is gonna line up. But I'm probably just gonna rip it off and redo it anyways. But what we've been seeing so far has been really positive. It's just, again, you can get a little bit closer with a hand cut, because it's to every window. So when I tint here, that's how I like to do things. So I don't really want to I don't want to leave a subpar top edge just because I was curious to see how it lined up. This is more of seeing like how it fits in with what I would regularly do. On a back window on the quarters, no problems. Super.
CJ Ackerman super chatted $2. What's up, man? How's it going?
CJ, thank you. Oh, things are going pretty good actually. Today's not a bad day. I had a Mazda. I did mess around with the plotter earlier, and it's doing pretty good. Sorry, I'm messing around with film cut. I need to specify. Oh, shoot. We're rolling these down. I'm getting ahead of myself. See? We're thrown off already. Tinting my first car in a bit. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck. Definitely good luck. It's a world of difference between watching and then starting. So, but don't be nervous to make mistakes. It happens. It happens to everybody. I hope their radio's not going to start playing. No, that's good. Sweet. Somebody asked what tape earlier. I use tuck tape or Lowe's house wrap tape. Either one. Both of them are good. Super.
P1Lo_0F_SH1T super chatted 99 cents.
Pile with $1. Thank you, sir. How you doing? Much appreciated. Boo-doo. You know, out of all the car dings, that one, even after having an Explorer, that one still drives me nuts. You know what? Something I forget to do. Wipe off the top edge for cutting. So we're going to do that real quick. During prep. There we go. That's all we need. But we're going to do it on the passenger side anyway, so that probably didn't matter very much, did it? Where's your flooring from? Racedeck.com. It's a tiled, like, modular flooring. It's been great. I've had it since last year. With the colors, you start seeing some dirt on it, but you can clean it off with some scrubbing. But so that's why black and the dark grays are pretty good to drive on. And then the green, that all kind of fills the side. And in person, it looks a little bit dirty. It's not bad, like, you know, unless you're kind of like looking for it. But camera, it's not so bad. I'm a big fan of this flooring. It looks great in pictures. If you have like dirty concrete floors, cracked floors, any of that, this is such a good option to put over it. I've been really happy with it. Did your film ever get haziness after installation? No. No, it's something that used to happen, but it really just depends on the particular film that you're installing. It was more like, it was a more pronounced, like maybe like 5-10 years ago, where you would see, you know, indoors, after you tint the windows, indoors, outdoors, didn't matter, but like the water sitting on the glue caused that glue to haze up for probably about, you know, 20-30 minutes, and then it was gone. It wasn't anything that would last very long, which is what was so funny about everybody saying that I didn't allow the windows time to dry in my Walmart video. It's like, funny enough, it looked clear when it was inside, pull it outside in the sun, hazy, then left it on for a week after that, still hazy. But I did something wrong, so, right, all right. Took the door latch in. I've made it a habit to not do that because I always forget to unlatch it on cars that aren't frameless. So if it's a frameless car, no problem. If it's framed, I've done this a couple times where, like, nothing bad happens, but it sure doesn't sound very good when you shut a door and it's latched. So I'll either leave the door shut entirely, or I'll just let it ding. I'll forget. It'll be like the last thing, like, hey guys, sweet, so we're done with the car today, everything turned out great, wham! Happens too often. I just never built it into a habit early on. Just like misplacing keys. I misplaced my own keys after the last stream. I was looking for them for like 15 minutes. I called the customer. I was like, did I leave my keys in your car by chance? I can't find them. And then I finally found them. I can't keep certain vehicles from dying while I'm tinting. Oh, funny you should mention that. I literally did that to the Mazda. I had to jump it. It was really annoying too because they came to pick it up, and I pulled it out, started up, no problem, and then sitting out in the parking lot, like that was at its edge. They went to start it, and then it half cranked over, and then it stopped, and it was like it was just on the edge, didn't have enough power to crank. You can put a battery charger on it while you're tinting. There's no problem with that. Just keep it low. It's a smart thing to have. There's like the battery tenders, there's the jump boxes. Just keep it on like a low 15 to like 20 amps or something. You can just trickle charge them while you're tinting. The Walmart tint needed more time to be a better product. There are better ceramics out there. They're just more expensive, so it probably just wasn't in the budget. And then they had enough, you just see in the comments, there's enough people defending the product that's like, oh, you did it wrong. And it's like, look, I actually did leave it on for a week. It was hazy. It's a real staple of cheap ceramic and carbon films. Like, even professional grade ones. The first ones that came out, They still do. Like, they still can suffer from low-angle haze. It's just a thing. And it looks incredibly even, and it's only in the sunlight. So it'll look fine when it's in a garage for the most part. You pull it outside, and that sun hits it, and it's called low angle because it's like, it's not quite when the sun is hitting it dead on. It's more when the sun is hitting at it from an angle like this, and then it's just whoosh. You know, it's like the edges of plexiglass. The light hits it, and then it all glows. So the finer you make those particles, the clearer your film's going to be. I probably should just leave that like that. You put the pegs down, tape over it, and then pop them up. Is there any alternative other than tuck/house wrap tape? My place, they don't sell this. Can you buy it online? So what you're looking for is a sheathing tape. So just look up sheathing tape, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something in your area. But they also do, like, you can buy tuck tape on Amazon. So that one you have to, if you're in the US, you have to buy it online. Mm, 20. The Walmart Tint had a good heat rejection though? Yeah, it did. So if you, it's a trade-off. Cheaper film, more haze, better heat rejection. More expensive film, less haze, more heat rejection. Cheap film altogether, save money, no heat rejection, and low quality. Like, so there's all these trade-offs. And if you want to get that, the reason I felt so strongly about it in the video was it's dangerous to drive with. It's so hazy, it was like, it's tough to see out of. So on top of it already being 20%, cutting out 80% of the visible light, now it's hazy. So I don't install anything that's going to give my customers a hard time driving. So if you want to just get it and slap it on your truck, like, I'd recommend getting the less expensive stuff entirely for just clearer windows, because if there's one thing tint should be able to do is you should be able to see through it. That's the whole point. Or just black out your windows entirely. Just spray paint them. So it's all trade-offs. If you want all the things, then it's going to cost more money. And even then, it's like $20 for the roll. It's not that cheap, but you're only buying a small quantity of it, so it feels like it's cheap. It's not cheap. Hey man, great channel. Shout out from Houston. Thank you. I went to Houston not too long ago. There was lots of bubbly back windows. Not surprising though. Are you gonna use the plotter? I think for the back, I'm always undecided what I'm gonna use it for, but I think I'm gonna cut out the back and the quarters, and then we'll see how that lines up. So, for one of the windows, yeah. For the doors, no, I don't think so today. We can show you what cutting it out's like. It's one of those things, using it for the front, I know I'm gonna have to repeat myself a lot on this. Using it for the front, you'll be good enough, I think, for most situations. But what I'm doing right now is gonna give you a more consistent, especially with every car that you do, because you're cutting it to spec, rather than just printing it off. But this little difference right here is really going to be the main difference between plotter cutting and not plotter cutting. So I just want to make sure I get a really nice, clean, close edge. And then if the plotter is like good enough, I mean, for most people, that's totally fine. It's something that most customers aren't going to be really attuned to. Like, they're just not going to look for it. It's like, it works for a lot of places. But just, I don't know, I stream things. I try and be extra particular. So this is one of those extra particular things that I take a lot of pride in. So, yeah, I knew getting it in here, we're not going to use it on every vehicle at all. Like, majority of doors, if we plotter cut them, chances are I'm going to have to rip one off and then recut it. How do you know if the plotter is good for tint versus vinyl? If it's more expensive, typically. So Graphtec, Roland, Vinyl Express, those are all Jaguar, those are all plotters that are good for window tint. When you start getting into like the much cheaper ones, it's much easier to cut out vinyl than it is window tint, because everything needs to be a little bit more precise. Because for window tint, you don't have a backing, like a very strong backing. It's just a thin, clear backing sheet that is very easy to rip through. So you need a machine that's just a little bit more precise. But that being said, plotters have come a long way, and this machine is 1600, and I have it doing the job. So there might be some more, there might be a little bit of waviness in some of the cuts. That I'm not too sure on. It seems pretty good. But there's definitely features missing from it versus one of the nicer plotters too. Actually, quite a few things. But it's good enough to get the job done right now. So the thing is, you know, if you run into an issue with it too, how quickly can you get that fixed? So what's better for heat rejection, carbon or ceramic? Ceramic is going to have more heat rejection pretty much across everybody's board. Like, well, yeah, it does. There's not even like a maybe there. So it's really just, you have dyed film, metallic, carbon, and ceramic. Metallics just aren't really much of a thing anymore, so kind of ignore those. Dyed is just colored polyester, and it blocks UV, but it lets everything else through. So the IR spectrum, son of a bitch. We just did that in 20, didn't we? This is 35 on the front. This is 35 in the front, 20 in the back. I did 20. Damn, that one hurts. Aw, we cut out our front doors. We get anybody want some nice, pretty Taurus show front doors? I did it in the wrong shade. At least I didn't install it, but I definitely cut out the wrong shade. The first car I did was 20% all the way around. I'm so used to doing them. I said right in the beginning, 35 and 20. I grabbed a 20 box. So we're gonna recut those. That's fine. Me. Which is better to avoid UV damage? They'll all protect UV. I saw this box, and there's a 35% box. And I'm like, ding! Take it off your cans? Okay, come get them. Pre-cut! Alright, so let's do this again. Let's just start over. Hi. Today we're doing 35 on the front doors, 20 on the back. But yeah, so you have dyed, carbon, ceramic. At least those are the three that I carry. Carbon, even if you add like a lot of carbon to it, it typically only blocks out about 50%, like carbon itself. So carbon blocks out about 50% of the IR spectrum. So that's what you feel, that's the heat. And then what blocks out even more is ceramic materials. So you can block out far more with ceramic, but then you still have to color it. So you can color it with carbon or dye, one of the two. But ceramic is more better for heat rejection. What's a mistake that you've made that you never get out of your head? I don't know. It's out of my head right now. They come and go. There isn't any one thing I think that I can point to and I'm like, that. But what does happen to me more often than not is I won't have a problem with like, so everything will be fine. And then all of a sudden I'll start running into this one issue that I just randomly created for myself and I like can't escape it. So like there's a while I was installing doors and they get little creases right here when I was tucking in the film. And then that was happening just all the time out of nowhere. I don't know. So every once in a while it's like I'll just develop a random problem. And then you just keep tinting until it goes away like a hiccup. I don't know. Watch, we're probably going to start forgetting shades now. You made me get a roll of tint and start practicing on my Civic. Nice. I didn't make you. Good luck, though. It's worth it to see. See if you like it or not. I mean, because what do you lose? A little bit of money? What are the upsides? Potentially a very, very good career if you like it. If you're kind of doing it just as like a hobby for your own cars, it's like, yeah, just do it for the fun of it. All right, now we're gonna recut these. I put black paint on my windows, 14 layers, 100% light UV protection. Nice. Hold my head out of the car like a dog. Beep, beep. Nice. I mean, you could hold up a piece of paper and have 100% UV and IR protection. Now, if you want something you can see through, your only option is window tint. Yay! Here we go. one thing that hurts worse than getting the wrong shade cut out on the doors is installing the wrong shade for the doors, because then you just lost the time. Material's one thing. The time and the installation, that's the other. So at least we remembered early enough for it to be not so bad of a problem. But think of the potential. The potential loss. We charged $100 for those front doors. And just gone. Unless we get another Taurus, put that in a vault somewhere and just save it for a rainy day for another Taurus show to pop up that wants 35. Guarantee you every single Taurus show that comes out until I throw those patterns away will be like 20 in the front, 20 or 5. Nobody's gonna touch 35. Oh wait, no, there are 20. Okay, so there's a better chance. See, I'm just losing my mind today. No, 20 is more likely. I'm just never gonna get a show again. Not until I throw it out, then you forget exactly. And then the day after you throw them out is when you get that car for 20 on the front. Bye-bye. No fun. Should use like the label printer. And then if I had something quick to print out, maybe I'll mark it and then put them in a little shelf or something. But probably not. What's the point? It's more effort than it's worth. What size roll for double cutting? 36 or 40. Right now we're using a 36. 36 is great for most sedans. You'll need something a little taller for trucks, but then I'll just jump to like either 20 or 24-inch rolls. But typically your doors 18, 18, and then you'll have extra on top of it, but people don't really sell 18-inch rolls. Oh, this corner. What did we do? I checked to see if Geoshield was shipped to Malaysia. Ooh, that's a harder one. Sorry about that. Shipping logistics are really terrible too. Like getting the film around here is like one thing enough. I don't know what's been up with shipping companies, but it has just been supply chain nightmares across the board. So but if you're, I mean, it'd be worth looking into like Global. Global is a very similar Guari product. And it might be available in more countries like that, so that would be a good alternative to look into. Like, it's one of those that you're ordering a film and having it shipped around the world is gonna add a lot to your cost anyways. So finding something local within your area, a solid brand, that's usually the best route to take, unless you can charge that premium for it to cover all your shipping costs. By yourself, grab your, what? Sorry, this cart, I had to lower my monitor resolution. Or up it, so all the text is smaller. I can only make this so big. Grab yourself a badass extension cord, you won't regret it. I have my name printed on it, bought mine with self-locking, and it's amazing. Oh, a self-locking cord would be really nice. Never thought to get my name printed on one, though. I got these green ones, mostly because they're green. Actually, that's the only reason I got them. I was thinking about getting a couple reels and just putting them on the wall. That would help up. That'd help a little bit with cable management. Hello from Greece. Hello! But yeah, I never thought to get my own name printed on extension cords. That's an interesting one. I'm down to my last carpet shield roll. I feel like I bought 4 of them yesterday. So that one is at its end, so we gotta go all the way around the core. They sell green and print your name on it for free. Ooh, like a neon green. I don't know if anybody would be able to see it though. I should do like a custom stool or something. Cause that's still, we're still on this little flappy guy here. But this is a fun magic trick. Whatcha? Okay, installation. Very straightforward on the Taurus. Taurus, look, I can see into how wide these are. So I'll pull them usually a little extra wide because of how much room I have to work with on the inside. It's one of those things where it's like a nitpicky difference. But if I went like 1/8 of an inch overlap, it would cover all my gaps, it'd be fine. But like it would stop here, and then you could still see past that. It's like, would you get a complaint? Probably not. Would they notice? Maybe somebody would. But it doesn't take any extra time for me to drag the pattern a little bit bigger and just cut it a little bit wider just to try and tuck into those seals. F-150 does the exact same thing. There's other ones on top of that, but that's like one of the most notable differences, or different vehicles that does that. Not bad. Is it possible to buy other tint brands without having a business for personal use? Yeah, quite a few companies now will sell them online. Depends on the distributor. So like Tint Depot sells Tint Depot film, but if you want more like name brand, you can actually get Geo with a login and a password. It's not too difficult to look into it and whatever. Just go on the site, create a username, and then you can look into it a little bit more. But there's a little bit more retail separation there. Sun Distributing sells their own brand, Helios, and then they have Avery Dennison as well, which is a bigger known one. So those are the few right off the top of my head, and then there's a handful of other sites. They'll sell, some sites will sell global and whatever else. So the ones that are harder to, like, that you're not going to so much, kind of like Solar Guard, Suntech, Lumar, probably Expo, and just like a few others that are a lot more, I don't know, a little bit more corporate, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. A little more snooty. Doesn't mean they're better films. It just means they try and present themselves a little bit more exclusive to dealers, and that's not a bad thing. What? Can you shift the sides too much? Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I drag this over like a foot, it's clearly bigger than the window. So my general practice is all you need to do is make your pattern like literally 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch wider, usually like 1/8 of an inch wider than the outside seal. That's because when you're standing on the outside, so if I jump to the outside, right, and I'm looking here, I'm looking here, I'm looking in at an angle. So you need to make this pattern a little wider so it covers all your gaps. So I made this one extra wide and I tucked this one farther. So just when you're looking at it on the inside, you're not going to be able to see where the tint stops. It's going to feel like it goes all the way to the edge of the glass. Again, it's a nitpicky difference on the inside. But for pretty much all the vehicles that I tint on the outside, I only jack it over a little bit. I don't do it very much because you don't need to. Most of the outside and the inside seals, they match up pretty close. Some will wiggle when they roll up and down, so that's another reason you want to have a little bit of a gap. But what about Tint World? What about them? I don't remember. I was talking about like film exclusivity. I think they buy their film from a company and then they self-brand it Tint World because they're big into franchising themselves. Everything's Tint World. It's like McDonald's. All right. That was the company name. I forgot what the question. I must have missed something. On F-250 trucks, do you pull the sides over a lot? Yeah, on the F-150s, F-250s, I will pull those over farther. But first thing that I check is the inside. So I've done so many of those, like F-150s, F-250s. They're just super common. It's the most sold truck. So you just get a lot of them. So typically it's only with like domestic cars, but there aren't that many. But the way to just know is like literally look. So on the inside, like you just look, I see a giant gap here, and my seal stops here on the outside and then continues on. So if I just want to make that a little cleaner looking, just make the seal a little wider. On this seal back here, this one's a little bit different. This looks more normal from what you see. You can see very small difference between the inside and the outside seal, far more on there. So is the Pro Classic the one that you use for basic? Yes. Yeah, that's my entry. Good film. I'd trust it long term. Color stable, lifetime warranty. You just don't get heat rejection. Which, believe it or not, is not a huge concern in the wintertime. It's a harder sell. The better film. So 2 jobs today are, both of them have been Pro Classic. So early spring / into the summer, I mean, we did a lot of carbon and ceramic. Way more than I'm used to doing anywhere, really. We have, like, I know we have another ceramic job now scheduled next week. So the jobs, they're still going to be coming in. But it's definitely slowed down, and we're seeing more Pro Classic jobs right now, which is very similar to what happened last year. But what I'm guessing is going to happen is it's going to stay reasonably, it's going to slow down some. We'll probably see more Pro Classic jobs in general, with the occasional carbon / ceramic job, but we'll definitely try and keep it up as best as we can. But, you know, you're not really buying your summer clothes in the middle of winter. You do if you want to save a lot of money, but same thing with window tint. It's like up here, it's not quite as popular of a thing in general. More people are asking about it, but you know, if you can save some money, get it right now. Hey, then come summertime, you'll wish that you had it, but you know, it is what it is. Tint World in Indiana sells a tint called Shield. Oh, okay. So, like, they could sell a film called Shield. Like, Shield isn't really a protected name, but if you put like Geoshield together, that's definitely different right there. Geoshield Pro. There's a lot of things with Shield in the name. That's not exclusive. So when you literally start copying somebody's branding and their entire, like, most of their name. I live in the South and I wouldn't have tint without heat rejection. It would probably be a smart business move to move down there. But then again, you know, it's hotter down there. Tint's more common. You got a lot of people beating you up on price too, so it happens everywhere. Generally, people here get a little bit more for tint jobs, but it depends. Depends on kind of where you are and how you present yourself. seen places that have a hard time getting work over $200 and people that do far better than that. So the shop I tint from home, I guess they told me that F off. Huh. I know I know some shops don't like that. They don't like the idea of garage tinters. You know, it's competition that can force themselves to be much cheaper than a shop can. Shop has more overhead than somebody tinting from home. I think the whole landscape is kind of just changing though. Like with the rise of the internet, people are so much more direct to like it's easier to get your name out there. So instead of driving around and walking in a store or calling around on the phone, you just do a local search. You see who's tinting in your area. But as a shop, more people are comfortable with shops than individuals at houses, because it's just what you're used to. So, but I think the whole landscape is definitely changing a little bit more. You know, you can be a 100% high-end professional business right from home. It's just a little bit different for somebody to approach, because they're like, I'm going to somebody's house, I don't know how I feel about that. Just because it's different. What does color stable mean? Color stable means that the color is stable. So, like, there's lifetime warranty. So every company can do this however they want. They can call it whatever they want. The term color stable it has to do with the actual coloring of the film, and usually has to do with like the warranty. So when you're sold like a color stable film, it's basically saying like, you know, 5, 10 years, however long that there's ownership of the vehicle, or whatever they want to put in their fine print, that the color is also guaranteed. So you can have a lifetime warranty film, but let's say it changes from whatever color it is now and then fades to like green, purple, whatever, like it lightens up to brown. Well, it's still tinted. It's still on the window. It hasn't peeled off or anything. So some companies will sell a lifetime warranty, and then they won't guarantee the coloring because it's an inferior product. It's a way to save money though. So when you're shopping around for like what film do you want to carry as a shop, and you see this one with a lifetime warranty for $100 and this one with a lifetime warranty for $200, you're like, well, shoot, they're both lifetime warranty films. I'll just get the cheaper one. Well, you might run into that color stable issue. Is there a difference if I buy the Geoshield from your site versus their site? No. No, it gets forwarded right to them. They drop ship it, so all the same. Does fingers at the bottom after installation mean I didn't heat shrink it enough? That is correct. Gotta shrink it a little bit more. We have done our job, ladies and gentlemen. Cost difference in carbon and ceramic, what would you charge? It's up to you. There's different prices all across the board, so I can just tell you what I charge. I started this job at $240, which at this point I want to make higher, and the only thing that's kept me from it is just the typical like winter slowdown. I'm a newer shop, and I don't like, I'm not dumb. There's still people price shopping me all the time. So I want to stay as far enough in line with some of them so I can stay a little competitive and just get work. And then I have my better films available that I try to introduce to as many people as I can. That's been going pretty well. I just don't want to price myself too high with a small customer base yet. But I'm definitely not the lowest out here by any means. But that being said, color stable 240, carbon is 320, and ceramic is 450. Dang, it should have gone off. Super chat.
Jonathan Portillo super chatted $5. Thanks for the info, bro.
Jonathan, you're very welcome. I appreciate that 5. You should have had a fog machine, but I don't know why it didn't go off. I can push a button for you, though. Ooh, it switched. How did it do that? There, now it should work. Yay! Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What is the razor blade for? Oh, I just like scratching up somebody's glass before I install the tint. No, it's cleaning. There's lots of... okay. Most glass is clean enough. But taking a razor blade is like you're scraping the surface of it. And you're just bumping off like specks, glue, anything that might be stuck to the glass. Where a scrub pad isn't necessarily going to bump all that stuff off. Scrub pad's really good at overall cleaning. Razor blade's like thorough on everywhere that you scrape, and then like a clay bar is good at mostly top edges and picking up little specks and stuff. What? Is that spray keg? Can I read that right? Spray keg do you use? I use a tint keg. So hopefully that's what you asked. 'Cause that's what I use. You can find them at... Oh my god. Hi. You are scary. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, that is something. That is creepy. I'm not a big fan of spiders, but when I'm cleaning the seals and then all of a sudden a spider just like yeah, no. I'm good, thanks. Imagine if that guy just walked up into the tent. That one's never happened to me. I've had flies, I've had any number of hairs and dust specks and stuff, but spider, never had a spider walk into my film. How many gallons? Okay, I can only mostly read the comments right now. So the one that I'm using right now is a 3-gallon. And I have a 5-gallon sitting over there. I prefer the 3-gallon. It's easier to clean. It's easier to fill. It'll get you through most, if not all, of your day. And that's like more than a couple cars. A couple cars, no problem. But if you're like, to drag a 5-gallon keg over to the other side of the shop, clean it out, fill it up, it's annoying. The 3-gallon keg, it's just way more manageable, I think. So, especially if you're doing like mobile and stuff, love the 3-gallon kegs. Hey!
Jose78 Rios super chatted $9.99. Good afternoon, see you have new toy.
Is that referring to the plotter? Thank you, Jose, for the 10. Yeah, things are going well. How you been? We have a plotter. We have some film cut. We're not using it right now, but we will use it soon for the back window on this one. See, the software came scary close. I don't know about this car, but a couple of cars that I've used it on came scary close to most of the edges. There was a couple of back doors that it wasn't quite as good, but overall, as far as a software to recommend, they need a couple of additions that they're working on, but it's doing pretty well. Oh, speaking of batteries that might be dying, this thing is not staying on very long at all. So this battery is definitely near toast. So I guess I should probably just plug it in. Usually the batteries that are low, they're gonna give you a couple of signals that they're low, and that's one of them. I was so surprised about that Mazda. Did a Mazda 3 this morning. And then like it started up, no problem. I pulled it outside, cashed them out. They're happy. And the next thing I know, they're walking back in like a few minutes later, and it's just like the car's not starting. And it's like, really? Dang it. And then sure enough, it just couldn't crank over. It did like once or twice. It was like, rah, rah. Nope. No good. So we're gonna put a charger on this one. Also with cooler weather, that's way more common. When you get into wintertime, you have that all the time. Batteries that are just kind of on the edge, yeah, they don't like the winter at all. So we have our handy dandy charger. Charger, that's right. Wow, look at that. That is clean. I don't usually see an under the hood as clean as this one. For a show? Well, like, show's the nicer Taurus. Don't get me wrong. But they're usually just usually every car's just generally a little grimy under the hood. Neat. Okay. So, if the cars keep dying, we'll throw it on 6 amps, turn it on, and then we'll plug it in, and then it should be good. We'll just let this kind of charge while I'm working on it. Still got the back door, so turn on the car, roll it down. So you keep them from dying. We need you to get a giveaway from some distributing. Probably my monthly reminder to do the giveaway. Yeah, right? I really should. I use the yellow triangle squeegee. Is the blue one you use better? You mean tri-edge? Like this one versus the yellow ones that they use? Or the pink? Oh, yeah. So you are talking about those. So I don't have the small oranges, but yeah. So the way that these go, did I put them all on the wall? I did. I think I put all of them on the wall. Cool. Well, I got them all here. So I can give you a rundown here real quick. So pink is the softest. Blue is supposed to be medium. Yellow is supposed to be hard, and then orange is definitely where you notice a real big hardness. So this is kind of like, this is really stiff. It's still smooth, but it's the stiffest of the bunch. There's quite a big difference, I think, between this one and the orange. Like these are pretty gradual. So pink's the softest. I use either the pink or the blue, but I used the yellow for a little while, and I really like this too. So it's good having all of them. Just buy all three and play around with them yourselves, but I generally will just use the pink or the blue. And then if I have some harder touch-ups, I'll go to this one or the orange. But I'll typically have a pink and blue on hand. My son wants to buy a plotter. I'm going to tell him if he switches to Geo, I'll buy him the plotter. Whoa. That's a pretty compelling thing right there. The workhorse is, it's getting the job done. I mean, I don't have any long-term use with them. I just got it. It's doing what it's supposed to, though. Another option, though, just keep this in mind. Secondhand Vinyl Express or Graphtex are also a really good way to go, but they're hard to come by. So if you're having troubles finding, like, I get it, you want to buy a new machine. The workhorse is definitely like a pretty budget option. Then up from there, I don't have any experience with like the Jags, but I know those are definitely a thing. They're a way to save some money without going full on Graphtec. People seem generally happy with those. Then you can go up into like Vinyl Express and then Graphtec or Roland. Vinyl Express and Graphtec are like the same thing as far as I could tell. Oh no! Cannon. Thank you for catching that. I didn't freeze. You froze. Hamlink. There we go. I didn't freeze. You froze. Oh yeah, we should probably turn this back on. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo. Okay, there we go. So let's finish cleaning this up. But yeah, workhorse seems good enough right now. It's definitely missing some stuff, but it'll get the job done. Other than that, you've got Graphtec, Vinyl Express, Roland, and Jag, I think, to pick from. Like, those are just kind of like the main known ones. There's also like Mamaki and a handful of other ones, but that's kind of like film brands for me. When you get into those, I don't know them as well. But Plotter Depot, they sell quite a few different ones. So, plotter software. Ah, I have to click on the thing. Plotter software. There we go. You want to check out some plotter options, that's where you can find them. And then also film cut. Should I clean the window with the razor blade even if I never had tint before? It's up to you. The point of a razor blade is scraping lots of little things that can get stuck to it. So it's not scraping. You don't just use them for scraping glue, but like older cars, anything with stickers for sure, but you know, just cars with general grime and stuff like that, it's not a bad idea to use a razor blade. I just don't always. If a car comes in and it's brand new, I'll keep an eye out for, you know, some dealer stickers, the serious sticker that's on so many vehicles. And then everything else is just kind of like light scrape or whatever. Most of your dirt is going to come from insulation, though. It's not going to come from much else. A little far over. There we go. Oh, dang. We might have to turn that thing up. 2 seconds. And then this will go up, and then we'll never have to bother the car again. Just with starting. There we go. That should be good. There you go. And then it's also charging, so when I do the rest of it. It's funny that got brought up. That's 2 for 2 today. Really unusual. And the time it takes to tint 4 doors, if your battery dies, it's getting a little weak. But I've had them die within 2 doors. I guess that just means I need to tint faster, though. I think that's the worst. Quick in and out job. Tint a couple front doors, battery's dead. Like, really? Like, sneeze at it, and the battery's dead. Did you go to a tint school, or did you watch YouTube videos? When I started, I was the YouTube videos. There were hardly any YouTube videos when I started, but no, I got lucky with tinting, but I wouldn't have been in it any other way. So my dad, he still owns an auto accessories company. He had a different auto accessories company called Ameristar, and I was in high school at the time, and I was doing car detailing at his shop in the summertime. And then then I graduated. I was going to aviation mechanics school, and then I was kind of climbing up in the ranks a little bit. So I went from just detailing to like learning auto accessories. So remote starts, bolt-on stuff. This was like 2009 at the time. So 2008, 2009. Can't figure out hand cutting. I can get to that in a minute. So then where was I? I was learning. Oh yeah. I was doing accessories and stuff like that. And then the window tinter that was working there at the time, he quit very quickly. Just basically over the weekend was like, hey, I'm not gonna tint for you guys anymore. Okay, bye. And then they had tint work booked, and it's like, well, what do we do? So his business partner had a son who learned how to tint, and then he came over for the summer and taught me a lot of what I know. So I kind of had an easier go of it, but I don't think I would have been in tinting any other way because it was just never an interest of mine. I was going to be an aviation mechanic. Watch your video about Lex and low angle haze. What do you still think about it? People constantly tell me about the better stuff. So I don't know. And I feel like if I look at that stuff, then there'll be another better stuff. So I've looked at a few of them. They both had haze issues. They have one that people are like, no, this one's better, this one's better. It might be, and that's cool if it is. If it's working for a lot of people, that's good to hear. The only thing that really always makes me a little bit nervous for endorsing a film like that is going to be like, it's good enough, but for how long? That I never know. So, do those have deep sills like the other Fords? Yeah, they're pretty deep. So they're like probably about a half. No, probably like almost a full inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. They're reasonably deep. Have you used the plotters for small quarters yet? Yeah, a little bit. Not much. We haven't had a lot. We just got it this week. So we are going to use it on these quarters and the back window. Although I think we'll be able to get both of them. Should be able to get a back window, and then that's got a notched out top. So we might be able to get both the quarter windows. My OCD with all the... You know, I think it's such a annoying thing to clean off. Just little pieces. I don't care. It gets cleaned with time. When it gets really bad, that's when I clean it again. If you went as fast as you could while still doing a good job, how fast could you do? With doing a pretty good job, everything without the windshield was about an hour. With a full windshield, add about another half hour to that. So altogether, though, a more comfortable time would be like 2 hours. But even with that, I have a couple little shortcuts there. It's not going to be quite what you see on the stream. There's not going to be taping of the seals. There's not going to be as much cleaning work. It's really just going to be like rough scrape, cuts, install. And that's usually good enough. Just started tinting, can't figure out the hand cutting technique. I heard that a couple times. I just kept forgetting to respond to it. All right, is this okay for me to move? Yes, it is. Sweet. A lot of it is practice. I mean, oh no. Oh, I just changed the speed. Oh, that's okay. So I need to press this button, and then I can get the film back, and then origin point. Okay, now that's set up. Cool. Now we can go back over and get software. Hand cutting is just one of those things you need a lot of practice on. Try and watch what's going on and just replicate it as best you can. Maybe go look for a tint class. Canon. Or something like that. If you've been tinting for a little bit or you just need that in-person help, that would be a good suggestion too. But it's just a lot of trial and error until you get it going. No, it's totally okay on re-asking the question until you get it answered. I wasn't ignoring it. I thought it was funny because I heard it and I'm like, I keep forgetting to answer it. I get distracted. But yeah, maybe try and find a class or somebody local that can help show you in person. Plotter is another option, but you need to know how to hand cut still. So, desktop. Hey, film cut, cool. So we need window tint. We need, what is this? This is a Taurus, but like 2017-ish. This model, they're all the same. So I know this one. Ford. Taurus. 19 to 12. Okay, cool. So I pretty much nailed it. I'm going to check. One sec. I want to find out exactly what it is. See if I guessed it. And there's no sticker. Screw it. There's no sticker there. All right. So we need a back glass. Look at this. I can stand in front of my computer now and be productive at the same time while I'm drinking coffee. That's pretty awesome. Width, 36 technically. And then we can get some quarters in here. You know, I like how they say fixed, because that gives you a little bit more confidence in them. They're like, oh, they fixed it. But if you see everything that says fixed, then you're like, I wonder if they just do that on everything. Oh, yeah, we fixed it. How do I get individuals? I don't get, okay. It just, like, if I click enough, it does it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's what that notch is. It's for those quarter windows right there. Okay. So we got some quarters, we got a back glass. Now all I have to do is click cut. Look, it's already doing things. I could sit there, enjoy my coffee while this is all happening here. But the only thing that always makes me nervous is like film rolling up on itself and bunching up. So until I'm more comfortable with it, I'm gonna watch it a little bit and see how it does with this catch basket. I don't think I've cut out a back window like this yet. Oh wait, no, I did the Mercedes. Do you ever remove the door panels? No. No, hardly ever. It's quicker for some people. There's some people that like it's okay. So it's an easier thing to kind of learn, I guess, because you can make mistakes, and then you can also like ooh, that's not good. Oh my god. Ha ha ha. That was close. So the film like flipped up on itself and then stuck to it. And then it was just gonna go back in and get chomped. I thought it was on the inside, but it was on the outside. Okay, well, we saved it. Yay. If I could stop changing. They need to switch those. If there's a way that I can switch this feature right here. So it starts with force and speed. But what you're going to be doing more often than not is changing the cutter and the rollers and all that. And to do that, you go into this little menu here. And then you can move the film around any which way you want. You can move the cut head over. And then you click enter, and then that's your origin point. But there's so many times that it just skips my mind. I go to move the film around, and I'm actually then changing the force and the speed, which means all my settings are no longer good. Especially if I forget. Uh-oh. I need a bigger cut table for faux show. Faux Taurus show. Good God, that was bad. That was a bad joke. There we go. And we probably shouldn't put so much crap on this table either. This is supposed to be a temporary solution, but it's probably going to get used for way too long. What was that? There was a question here, though. This one, and then this one. Do you ever... Oh, yeah, about removing door panels. I think there's people that just have more of a knack for taking stuff apart. But removing door panels is one of those things that when you get the hang of, yeah, it is. It's just with some practice or whatever, there's steps to it, right? So if you can consistently clear all the stuff out of your way, the tinting part of it is far easier. But tinting without taking stuff apart is, I think, a little bit tougher to learn, and it comes with more risk of ruining the film. But if you learn how to do it without taking the door apart, the tinting portion of it, like that to me is easier and quicker. So I guess it just depends on the person. If they could get rid of that stuff for weeding a pattern, I would be real happy. It'd be very easy to remove. Just record a full car, and we'll have the door panel removal in it. Yeah, it depends. Depends on the door panel. Like, you know, a Taurus door, which is, again, easier for me to tint, is going to be probably easier to take apart than, let's say, a Range Rover. Taking apart a Range Rover is going to be a little bit more like, So there's always those cars, just for the same thing for tinting them without removing anything. There's ones that are easier, there's ones that are more difficult, and generally speaking, the easy ones to take apart for me are usually easy to tint. The ones that are harder are cars that I really wouldn't want to take apart anyways. So I like just a more universal way of doing it, but depends on the person. Plus, I'll just say, with this streaming thing, when you're on the outside and you don't know about tinting hardly at all, and then I have like a brand new M3 in here, and then I pull all the doors apart live on stream, the owner of that car probably gonna be a little bit on edge. Or not happy, or just, you know what I mean? So, I've been tinting this way for a long time. It's not something I think most customers are going to want to see firsthand. If you take it behind the scenes and you do what you do, you know, it goes, you know, just like taking it to a mechanic shop. I don't know what goes on back there. Drop my car off to get something replaced. They yank that shit apart. Who knows what they had to do to get it apart. But as long as I get it back and everything looks great and it works, hey, cool, man. Thank you. You did a great job. But I can guarantee you in a lot of those shops, there's things that happen that's like, I'm glad the customer didn't see that. So it's not something that I really want to make front and center anyways. I don't know, I'd personally feel the same way. If I got a brand new, expensive car, get the windows tinted, I didn't know much about it, I wouldn't really want to see my car getting taken apart anyways, but. It's a personal preference thing though. There's lots of shops that'll do it on everything, and like, I'd argue it's just most of the customers don't see it, and that it's just like they drop it off, they get it back, everything's fine, they're happy with it. So there has been a couple of occasions where like how do I say this? So there have been those moments where I've pulled in a car, tinted it, didn't take anything apart, and then a customer gets their car back and goes, hey, there's this like, I hear like a little rattle or something, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't like that before. And then I can confidently say, we didn't take apart anything in your car. We literally pulled it in, taped it off, tinted the windows, returned it to you. When you take it apart, you tell them, we took it apart, we put it back together, but we put it back together properly. Now all of a sudden, they're pointing fingers at you a little bit harder. So, not telling anybody which way to tint. It's just, those are some possibilities. So, on cars that are much harder to tuck, yeah, there might be something more wrong with it than if you could take it apart, but generally, you'll be okay. So, hey. Did you say this car is getting Pro Classic and 35? It's getting Pro Classic, yes. 35 on the front, 20 on all the rear. So, we have glass aid on here for no good reason, because we plotter cut it. If you plotter cut it, you don't need glass aid. We did it because I didn't know I was going to do it or not. I just put it on there out of habit. And we're going to see how these peel. How these peel right here. Any good? Any good? Ooh. Oh, we got a little snag there. I've noticed most of these patterns, they all have like one snag point. So they do like a continuous cut, and wherever they start and they end, that's usually where it snags. Other than that, I can get that thing to mostly cut. It's like, it's almost 100%. I've had a couple of little snags. But Geo is also not like the thinnest of films either. So I think you have a little bit more wiggle room for like putting some pressure on it. So it's been working pretty well. It's been working pretty well with this plotter. No, that's not right. I mean, I like the sentiment there. So there's no point to getting it tinted. No, come on now. 35 and 20 is actually what I have on my own vehicle right now, except I put 50 on the full windshield. You're gonna see a difference. And you still get UV, and you get good looks, and you get glare reduction. Like, that's, if anything, there's less reason, there's less strong reasons to get ceramic versus like Pro Classic or something like that. It's really like, it's the other way around. So we're coming into wintertime. Upselling into a heat rejection film is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for me. And if they're, you know, if that's not what they're looking for, I don't like pressuring anybody into it. But you'll see. I'll show you at the end. This will look much better than it did when it first got here. But I like the sentiment there. There's no point. Yes, we might as well just kick it out of here. The hell are you doing in my shop? Get out. Before I pay for a tint course, I'll buy a roll and try it then? Yes. That's a great thing to do. Know if you kind of like it before you get your feet too wet with it. It's like, it's not that bad, or it's not that expensive to just buy a roll of film, buy some tools, play around with it, and go like, hey, I really like this, or I can figure out a lot on my own. I don't necessarily need to take a course, or, you know, I've been tinting for a little bit. Course would be really helpful. You know a lot more when you've played around with it. You get one impression in your head, and then when you actually go to try it, that's where things can be a little bit different. So we need a bulldozer and probably a side swipe. So this guy and this guy. Hey, you get to tint it twice? Probably not. I've done plenty of Pro Classic jobs for people that are very happy with their tint jobs, even in the summertime. I mean, sure, I bet they wish they had it, but then, like, I've had some people, like, when you're talking into removals, too, now you have to pay to get it removed and retinted, and that's a big barrier. It's hard to stomach paying basically the full price of a regular tint job to get it retinted with some heat rejection. It's one of those things that you either decide in the beginning, or you do like the front doors and no windshield, and then like add a windshield later or something like that. Does the thickness affect the time that the film is going? Oh, does the thickness of the film affect the fade time? Actually, no. It would seem like it does, but from what I understand, you can still have very long-lasting thin films, but most films are going to be like 1.5 mil. I think the oddball of the bunch is like Solar Guard. For whatever reason, they have been, like, most of their films are like 1 mil. They feel like tissue paper. Still a good company. So, I don't know. I don't know why they are, but they have a few that aren't like that. They have like Galaxy, I think. Matt has the best tint class available and it's free live. Thank you for that. I mean, it's funny if you go take a tint class, you're not even going to see, in most cases, them tint a full car live. Not start to finish, not like this. But tint classes, they're hugely helpful. Going to in person and see somebody do, like, learn. How do you say this? So going to an instructor, learning firsthand from somebody, being there for, like, they watch for your mistakes, they help correct it, they help you better understand exactly what's going on. That is really helpful and will save you a lot of time versus making all those mistakes yourself. They point you in a direction. So even though they're usually pretty short, like 3 to 5 days, they can be really, really helpful to take. But costs money. So, like, it's a reasonable investment to go to a tint class. So play around with film, learn some stuff first, and then if you want, go take a tint class after. Because even if you can tint a full car in like 5 or 6 hours, they're gonna speed you up.
Michael Barbieri super chatted $10. Thanks for all
Michael
the tips,
Barbieri.
Matt, and putting up with my stupid questions.
I like how it said your name and also stupid questions. Hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Thank you for the 10. No, just like, you know, the differences between carbon and ceramic, or do I have to heat shrink a window, or why do I have to? Like, there's so many things to know, and there's so many, like, minute little differences between a lot of it. So we answer as much as we can. That could have been a little bit straighter. Dude, there's water everywhere. Oh God. Oh God, think if we took the door panel apart. Back windows are one of those things that are really hard to get a towel covering everything and get a good clean job. Windshields are a little bit easier to do. Cover your speakers, cover some stuff up. Everything else is the deck lid, it'll wipe off. And getting it clean enough the first time so you don't have to then pull the glue and then try and do it again. It'll be fine. You ever peeled the clear and realized you had the tint upside down? Oh, for sure. Usually happens after I mess up a window and then I cut and shrink out a new one. And then I go to install it and then it's backwards and I'm like, what did I do? Why don't you roll the back window like you do the front? Back windows aren't as wide. And it's just easier for me to carry them. That's how I first learned. I didn't know reverse rolling until years into tinting. I wouldn't have figured it out. It was some magical thing that even when I saw it, I was like, wait, how does that work? So they're a little bit stubbier, easy to carry. That's just the way I learned. But if you learn reverse rolling pretty early on, you'll have an easier time reverse rolling something like this. It takes a little bit more time to do it that way though too. So it was also kind of like a time saver for me. Oh shit. What is that? Oh. I don't think I've seen that in a long time. That's really no good. You guys are about to see some serious shit right here. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. Sorry, I'll explain in just a second. I wonder if I can remove it. What a weird thing to happen. The rest of it actually seems okay. Bottom defroster line just pieced out. It was like, I'm not having it. So, I can't even, there it is. I don't even know if I can save it. It might be too pressed. These are thin, shitty things to happen. Ooh, we might get it. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm gonna bullseye this thing. That might have done it. We'll see the rest of it. This is one of those unfortunate casualties of tint. I haven't seen this happen in a long time. The Defroster line just kind of, the bottom one though, of all things, it just fell. Like it literally, how do you say this? It just kind of like deteriorated away from the glass. It's a Ford piece of glass too, which isn't super great either. But what I'm hoping is that all the other rest of it matches up. Son of a bitch. I think we got one more. See, all these lines, they're totally fine. That is a no-no though. It's kind of like a hair. Oh, a few of them. Damn it. That's really not good. Eeh. Well, I don't know about this one. That's surprising. Where's my line? There it is. I don't think that's going to be salvageable. It's too stuck. It's just kind of hanging out in there. Now his defroster won't work. That's right. Yeah, it's in those parts, those defrosters are not going to work. It's unfortunately a bad defroster grid in a few spots. So you see there, stuck there, stuck there, stuck here. It's mostly on the bottom. What a bummer. One more time. Yep. Gonna have to have a little conversation. Ford for you. Not something I can tell you I've seen happen on these ones, but yeah, there's a few, they're just not gonna work. Ain't good time. No, plotter pattern was good. It'll save me a little cut time. So we'll just send a new one out. It's gotta be frustrating when trying to tint. Oh yeah, for sure. So let me just go ahead and cut it out again. But yeah, that's not great. So all I can tell you is, like, why did it happen? Nothing out of the ordinary happened with tinting it. It just decided to kind of fail as you're tinting it. So what I wouldn't like is to see one of those defroster lines sitting right in the middle like a hair or something like that. That's a big no-no. So is it gonna happen again? I don't know, but we'll get it retinted, and then we'll I'm gonna have to discuss this afterwards. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, it's so close. No! Damn plotter. It doesn't stop either. All right. We're not having a good day anymore. Aww. Stupid machine. Now all my settings. $240.57. Oh no, it did remember that time. Oh, how about that? Okay. Well, it at least remembered. That's about as much good as I can say about that situation. Yeah, tell me about it. All right, start again. And then this one. All right, so one of the things that is better about some of the other plotters, this is something I kind of totally forgot. Like, I can't bring up everything every time. But the rollers are only like half on a 36-inch roll because they don't line up covering the 36-inch roll at both points anywhere on this machine. So you have to go like half-half. So as your film is spitting out and retracting, like as you kick more and more film out, if your roll's not dead straight on the core, then it's gonna start to walk a little bit. So you kind of want to pick one side, kind of tap it down, get it to line. That way you could... Fuck me, dude. Somebody say hand cut? I'm so over this machine. I think I've wasted more film in the past 5 minutes. Fuck it. We're going to, Wait, what? Why is that 35? Did I really? Shut up. That doesn't even make sense. So we did... You know what? Happy accidents. I'm never touching a plotter again. Why does Matt hate plotters? Because they're dumb. And then he's also dumb sometimes too. I had a dumb 35% roll in there. I don't even know how that happened. We had 35% in the plotter. So we would have... We had 35 in there. So unfortunately, that back window would have been no good anyways. So I knew it was 35. Ugh. I didn't. I should have, but I definitely didn't. So now you guys start to see a little bit of my frustration with cut machines. They can be a great friend, but they can just rip through film. So what happened? We're still getting used to the machine, but 36-inch rolls don't quite line up super well on that thing. So if your plotter, or if your roll is not really centered right, like if you're, it's something I have to show you on the actual roll itself. I can explain it if I show you. But it wasn't lined up perfectly. And then the more film that you spit out, it starts to walk off the rollers. So then before you know it, it spit out just enough film where it fell off the roller entirely, and then your pattern's just done. It's just, the rest of it's getting cut wrong. So then we recut it, and then remember that little flip that I saved it from? I got distracted from it, and then it flipped up, backfed into the plotter, and ripped through the next back window. Yikes. There's another one. And as people are saying, now your quarter windows are wrong. Yep, so we're going to have to hand cut those. So plotters are great, and then I hate them. So we're having all sorts of fun right now. So we're going to hopefully get this tinted right, and hopefully no more defroster issues, and then I still gotta have a conversation after the fact about defrosters and where we're gonna proceed from there. But we're gonna get this thing tinted at the end. So if our roll didn't go off track, everything would have been fine, I think. And if I remembered to catch it, then it would have been fine too. So those are just like things to keep in mind. That doesn't happen with all films, and maybe I can rearrange the catch basket where that's not going to be the case, but that's 2 for 2 right now, where it hits that spot and it wants to bunch back up. So that's not great. Think he'll blame the defroster to me? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's not a fun thing to happen. Kind of like I was talking about earlier with taking apart a door, right? And then all of a sudden it starts rattling after. It's like, well, you touched it last. I don't know. But out of everything that I do that on countless cars. I do that on every car that I tint. So it's just a freaky defroster grid, unfortunately. I don't see it often. I've had it happen on a couple of VWs. And like miscellaneous car here or there. Never a Taurus though. Taurus has been solid. So really unusual to see, but oh, I suppose it happens. So I'm I think extra nervous now about installing this for the second or third time. What year? I don't know actually. I'm just gonna try and go over them a little bit, because like it's mostly the ones that were on the bottom, but it's like, I think the worst part about this is like I can try and go over them. I don't know if it's a 2017, but so I can try and go over the defrosters and like rough them up a little bit, but as you're pushing the film over it, you have glue there. So we're not really gonna know until we got that film basically in place. And it may have dragged off another defroster line, I don't know. Check the defroster lines before. You can't. I mean, I tried a little bit, but what? Literally go through, scrape them all off? I mean, we didn't even know the first time. So second time around, I mean, we took everything off that we could, or, I mean, that was willing to just fall off with a towel. Now we're just gonna lightly push the film past it. And again, that's all we did the first time. Could happen again. Ah, my headset. I'm gonna lose it. So, I suppose, let's try and get this as far down as we can. I'm so annoyed. I said, easy peasy. That's the last time I opened my big fat mouth on this. So, I think what we should do, is check it before we squeegee it out. Because that's what will make or break my defroster grid. Aha! We see one. Just a little bit. 2004 Crown Vic. Oh, those aren't fun. You're gonna have a world of fun with that one. Why the bottom? There's like a curse with film and like things happening on the very bottom, like a little hair or a little defroster or something. What is it? I don't know. How did it do that? I don't know. Did it? Yes. So I think, since we didn't squeegee it. Oh no! We didn't hard fix anything yet. So I had an E-Class do this too. Mercedes E-Class, not fun. Oh, come on. I bet the longer it sits, the worst. There we go. E-Class was crazy. E-Class just like fell. It was like little pigtails. What's the software? Plotter software. If it happens again, you just have to hand the car back. No. No, it'll get done. I'm stubborn. I mean, this is only, there's things that I can do. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could scrape them and then know for sure, but... Let's see. Did we do it? Did we do it? Sweet. I was seeing things. I could have sworn I saw one. I think we're good. Yeah, nothing up top, just some of the lower ones. How weird. Okay. No, it's good. I mean, as good as it can be. Not happy about it, but it's at least clean. Nothing stuck back to the tint. So every time we pulled it back, we hadn't squeegeed it down yet, so nothing stuck back there. Which is like silver lining. So it was just the same thing happening again. They're just, you hit them with some cleaner and they start wanting to roll back off the window. Which is like an age thing. You know, it's like hitting dry plastic or something. Like plastic that's been baking in the sun for a long time and then just like disintegrates. That's exactly what happened there with the defroster grid. Yikes. So, as you can do in that situation, either just fix it or let them know and see what goes from there. But he's going to get a good job out of this at least, and then whatever happens after the fact, we'll see. We don't see a Wagner heat gun off in here. Oh. Yeah, I've used one a bunch. They're just the most common and reliable enough. They get the job done. What? I keep myself busy, but I've been back watching your plotter videos. Spoil and sum up the ending for me. How did it go? I'm 2.5 hours into your 3-hour-long video. It's a movie. You're supposed to watch the whole thing. I can't do that. No, I'm kidding. Well, if you rewind this one about 20 minutes ago, we just scrapped a bunch of film. It's plotter human error. It's both. There's things to be blamed on the plotter, and there's things to be blamed on me for forgetting about that to catch it. But it works. I actually got it to a point where it's cutting out really consistently, and it'll do the job. Ugh, this camera. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. So it'll cut out consistently, but it's got a couple of hang-ups. So it's not, they tell me this after the fact. They casually tell me, yeah, it's not great with 36-inch rolls. Like, wait, what? How is it not great? Like, it's not great with 36-inch rolls. Like, come on, man. Really? So it half lines up on the rollers. So it doesn't have the long roller bar here, meaning that you can put it here, and then you're half covered on one roller, half covered on the other. So as soon as that roll starts walking a little bit, if you don't have it, all smushed to one side of the core, and you don't catch it, if it's like a little telescoped on you, it'll fall off. So you have to make sure it's real good, especially after you start cutting out, 2 front doors, a back glass. You start adding to your list of things that you cut out. Not super great for that. But it does work. And then it doesn't have like the vacuum system thingy, so like it doesn't lock the film down to the bottom. The software only cuts on the like does a continuous cut. It doesn't do just a back cut yet. So there's just a lot of little things with it. It's a good enough machine to do the job. It's just the better machines will cover your butt a little bit more and probably do a better job. Thank you for the live streams. Really help us a lot. Well, shit, man. You're very welcome. But I wish I wasn't streaming right now. Oh, it's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just what the hell? What even happened? But this is what can happen. Everything can be going perfectly fine. We have a very straightforward car. Done a ton of Tauruses. They're one of my favorite cars to tint. And then everything was going fine, and then it all fell apart at the end. It'll still be a good tint job at the end, so but yeah. What can you do? So you guys think everything always goes so easy for me and I'm immune to everything? Cars don't care. I have to deal with all the same crap that you guys have to deal with. I've just been dealing with it for a while longer than some people, not all. When life gives you trouble, just give up. It's true. You could just give up. And then what? That's the alternative. It's like, if you want to quit, that's fine. But then what? What are you going to do? Smiley. Just give up, clown face. Do we have a... Did we throw it out? Oh, son of a bitch. I think we threw it out. We probably could have kept it. You know what it is? It's the plotter. It's just its ominous aura. It's just sitting there. It's like you made fun of plotters for so long. Well, here you go.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Gumustapo. One day I'll stop by and do a live interview of and your profile when you started and up to now in your achievements as a world-renowned master tinter.
Daniel Reyna, thank you for the 10. So world-renowned master tinter. I don't think it's quite that prestigious, ma'am. I put stickers on windows. Expensive sticker applicator. I specialize in cars, though. Thank you for the 10. These live streams, they are live interviews. It's like, there's so many work stories that come out of here. If you want to know stuff, just ask me. But yeah, as far as film lost on stream, this could come close. There was that one where we scrapped a lot of ceramic on BMW. That wasn't super fun on the back window. Most things go pretty well, but yeah. Every once in a while, you run into something that just, for whatever unexplained reason, there it goes. But I'm happy to report this should be the same here, right? This is 20. Right, that was off, because we didn't do this. We ruined the other ones. We used a 20-inch roll. Ah, yeah. Yeah, they're good. Start, like, screwing with myself and like, is it? No, it is. Thankfully. After this, I'm motivated to go through my side windows again. Good luck. FC 7000, my 8600 motherboard is short-circuited and GraphTech is out of stock. Oh my God, really? What? I would lose my mind. So they're just, your GraphTech motherboard fried, and then they can't get you like a fix for it? They're just kind of like, well, we'll let you know when it's in stock. Aye. I mean, I get it, but like the problem with these machines is they become such a part of your business that like limping by without one of them for an extended period of time is not much of an option. So like, I mean, yeah, you can, but it's a big deal. It's a real big deal. So when people, like, I guess this may be something I don't really talk about very much. When I get so jaded on plotter software, like not working out, because it's like it's such a big part of your business. Any major part of your business needs to just work. So if you cut out patterns and they just don't work, then it's just a waste of time. Plotters, if they're constantly causing problems, they can turn into a real waste of time. So like having a machine with a broken motherboard that is like critical to your business from a company that like there's a premium on GraphTechs. They're supposed to be reliable. And then you have a problem with it and now they can't fix it. It's like, whoa, whoa, buddy. That's not good. Not good at all. So I don't know. There's that level there. There's that level of like how important to your business really is it? And then if it is, those are the things that I'll be extra critical on for quality and just reliability and stuff. So like a heat gun, right? This is one of the cheap ones. Well, it's good enough. It does the job. It's fine. And if it breaks, I can go buy another one. And it didn't cost me very much to do. Cheap tint. If you get your car tinted with cheap tint, or you install cheap tint as a shop, well, you're causing a whole lot of problems for yourself down the road. So when somebody goes back to any one of those film brands, what about this one? What about that one? They're cheaper, they're less expensive. It's like, yeah, but they're so critical to your business that if there's a problem with one of those rolls or all of those rolls, then you're just doing nonstop redos. One bad redo, just it can be an entire day. So spending a little bit more, getting something that you know is good, and then being able to build your business and rely off of that instead, gives you some peace of mind, man. And it's just smarter. So, I don't know. That's that. I started tinting windows when I was 15, crossed over to car wrapping in my 20s. Now I'm certified installer in Europe. Nice, very nice. How do you like car wrapping versus window tinting? Yeah, there's definitely differences. Is it actually more difficult than window tinting? I don't think so. Actually, in its own way, there's like a vinyl wrap job versus a tint job. They're just different scales. I can get tint jobs done quicker, but car wrapping, there's just so much more to do. So when you're doing a whole car, so it's just much more of a longer process. They both have their own difficulties. I always felt window tint was a harder thing, but I guess when it comes to like the complexity, like the compound curves and stuff, that's where it can get a little crazy. Hey, we work. Well, that's good. I've done some vinyl wrapping. Not a lot, but I've done some. I did a lot of paint protection film. I didn't like it, though. I think I like... Car wrap doesn't crease and show specks. It still does. It's just less. It's more forgiving. You can definitely peel it back and fix it, but you can still have dirt under it and whatnot. A hair will still show, but it's less visible. Window tint, it's like everything's right there in your face. Canon. Do you tell your customers not to roll their windows down for a few days? Yep. If they accidentally do, everything should be okay, but I always make it a point to tell them not to. I'll tape the switches too. That smell, that car exhaust. We're gonna get this one out in just a minute. All right, so we're gonna shout out some super chats here. We're actually done with the whole job. That was kind of a brutal end, though. Everything turned out good as far as the quality of the work, but we have some little things. So with that, I'm gonna say a big thank you to Daniel Reyna, Michael, Jose, Jonathan, Pyle, and CJ. Thank you all for the supers today. It was still a fun stream. For as straightforward of a car as this is, though, I'm like, oh god. Window tinting, you have to be a perfectionist. If you tint crease, you have to start over. As vinyl, you can heat it and heal on its own. Yep. There's more things that can be worked out with vinyl, but you are doing bigger pieces too. So like there is that trade-off. So if I have to redo like a door window, that's way easier to do than replacing like a full bumper. I guess I'd compare that more to like a windshield or something like that if you had to do it. But like with paint protection film, that's where like those two worlds meet together. and you have like the nitpickiness of window tinting with a complexity of like car wrapping, you can still fix some stuff and wash it out, but man, a bad tint or a bad PPF job is just like, it sticks out real bad. Try vinyl wrapping in winter. That's a good point. Cars are cold. That'll be much more challenging for sure. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for the support today. I appreciate it. Hope you guys learned something. It's not all sunshine and rainbows here, but you know, we made the best of what we could. Can you show? No, I'm gonna stop. I gotta call this guy and sort this one out. So I'm gonna hop off stream here, and then I will be back on Monday. Monday we'll probably have another stream. So it's not too late today. Everything kind of went in a reasonable time frame, but I gotta go take care of some stuff. So you guys have a good one. Have a good weekend. Thank you again for hanging out, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.